suspects through the streets of L.A. and the O.C.
And a miracle on the 101, just inches from a semi-truck. A foster dog cheats death on the busy freeway. The video you have to see to believe, that is now serving as a warning to pet owners. Now on the news at 10. Good evening, I'm Micah Ullman.
And I'm Cher Calvin. We begin with breaking news in South L.A., where a high-speed pursuit of home invasion suspects took a wild and dangerous turn.
Witnesses say the suspects carjacked drivers in a desperate move to escape. Live to Gil Levis, overhead in Sky 5. Gil.
Mike and Cher, you're looking at the third vehicle that was involved in this pursuit, a very dangerous pursuit that started in Orange County. Let's go to some video during the pursuit. It was Buena Park police that went into pursuit sometime around 7:30 tonight. The vehicle in question went up the 5 freeway to the 605 south to the 105 west, up the 110 freeway, and exited in South LA. That's when the driver and passenger bailed out, and the passenger actually ran over to a laundromat at 67th and Broadway and carjacked the second vehicle, took off and led police on a pursuit in that vehicle. That vehicle ended up in Hawthorne, where the driver jumped out and carjacked yet a third vehicle. That would be this vehicle here in the screen. And I can tell you that that person led authorities here to this location at, it's going to be Manchester Place and Alameda, and the 4 suspects jumped out of the vehicle. Unfortunately, right now I'm having some camera difficulties, but ran into the neighborhood here. Police, actually it was the sheriff's department that quickly surrounded the driver and the 3 other passengers, took them into custody, and that was the end of it. But it was a very dangerous high-speed chase, at times 130 miles an hour on surface streets, ending here in the Florence area, where all 4 people were taken into custody here. It's unknown if the original driver was taken into custody or not. We're working with LAPD to find that out. But again, a very dangerous high-speed pursuit, ending here with a third vehicle in the Florence area, just off of Alameda and Manchester Avenue, with 4 in custody. That's the latest overhead up in Sky 5. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Gil Levis, thank you. A U.S. fighter jet shot down a mysterious high-altitude object the Pentagon said posed a threat to civilian air traffic today.
It was taken down off the northern coast of Alaska less than a week after the U.S. shot down a Chinese spy balloon. While the Pentagon is convinced that Chinese balloon was conducting surveillance when it was shot down, investigators have yet to identify what it was they shot down near Alaska today. KTLA's Mary Beth McDade joins us with more on the puzzling discovery. Mary Beth.
Mike and Cher, defense officials detected this flying object Thursday night and shot it down today, after the military deemed doing so posed no major risk to people or property on the ground. The president declared the operation a success.
They got it.
Oh my God.
Many watched as a suspected Chinese spy balloon flew slowly across much of the U.S. before being shot down by a fighter jet off the coast of South Carolina last weekend. This morning, another fighter jet was called into action to shoot down a mysterious object off the coast of Alaska near the U.S.-Canadian border.
At the direction of the President of the United States, fighter aircraft assigned to U.S. Northern Command successfully took down a high-altitude airborne object off the northern coast of Alaska at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today.
Pentagon officials say it was shot down after being deemed a threat to the safety of civilian flights.
As you well know, civilian aircraft operate, at a variety of ranges up to 40 to 45,000 feet. So again, there was a reasonable concern that this could present a threat to, or a potential hazard to, civilian air traffic.
White House officials say the object is significantly smaller than the Chinese balloon.
The way it was described to me was roughly the size of a small car, as opposed to a payload that was like 2 or 3 buses size, right? So much, much smaller.
The latest aerial object had no maneuver capabilities, unlike the Chinese balloon.
What we know is that the flight path it executed took it over sensitive military sites. What we also know is that it could maneuver, that it had propulsion capability and steerage capability.
Meantime, debris recovery operations continue for both incidents in South Carolina.
Expect to be able to recover the debris, since it fell not only within our territorial space, but on what we believe is frozen water.
At this point, it's unclear who owned or operated the flying object. Canada's Prime Minister says that he was briefed on shooting it down and supported the decision. For now, reporting here in studio, Mary Beth McDade. Micah, back over to you.
Mary Beth, thank you. Sources say former President Trump's aides have quietly turned over more materials with classified markings to federal prosecutors in recent months. They discovered pages with classified markings at his Mar-a-Lago residence in December and January. FBI agents seized classified documents and other presidential records after serving a search warrant last August. A special counsel is investigating whether Trump obstructed justice while handling national security records.
Meantime, another classified document was uncovered by FBI agents at the Indiana home of former Vice President Mike Pence today. It was discovered during a 5-hour search of the home. Pence and his aides agreed to the search after a small number of classified documents were discovered at the home last month. Today's search came one day after the former vice president reportedly received a subpoena from the special counsel investigating Trump and his efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election.
A woman believed to be under the influence of drugs is arrested after turning the parking lot of a business in Mission Viejo into a demolition derby. Officers say the 33-year-old woman behind the wheel slammed into several cars, nearly hitting bystanders. KTLA's Gene Kang spoke with one of the car owners who tried to stop her.
That's my car! Oh my!